Hello everyone, welcome back to Bascar Bricks. Now, I don't consider myself that much of an army builder, not really my thing, but yet one of the things that I often find myself buying in larger quantities and other types of LEGO Star Wars sets are Imperial related sets. So today I thought it'd be fun to revisit a video idea I've done a little while back and give an updated LEGO Imperial collection. If you're looking for minifigures, I will not be talking about minifigures today. Those kind of videos are just too much of a pain. So today we're talking about strictly builds. Alright, we're going to start off with a really quick rapid fire through some smaller models here. First of all, we have some Imperial speeders from 1999. We have some more modern white hot speeders. We have an Imperial Burke speeder here. We got a tiny little dropship, cool little thing from a battle pack, and hey, got two more battle pack, actually three over here down for you. We got one for Shadow Troopers, we got one for some solo dudes, we got a quick little Death Star thing here. Let's move all those out of the way. Three quick things here. We got an AT-AT microfighter with his legs all weird right now. We got a very well done probe droid and a smaller probe droid. Okay, that was the rapid fire. Let's go ahead and move on to the more interesting stuff. Alright, so now that we got all the smaller stuff out of the way, let's get into some of the more substantial builds. Starting with a couple of walkers and a transport here. This is the Imperial Armored Marauder from The Mandalorian. This is one of my favorite smaller sets of this scale in my collection. It can hold a bunch of figures, it can hold cargo, a lot to do, a lot to open. It really packs a lot into such a small little space. One of the better sets, in my opinion, that have come out in the last few years. This is the original LEGO Star Wars AT-ST from all the way back in the day. Definitely one of the worst versions out there. The colors on here are a little bit off. It's small, very inaccurate. Shaping's a little bit off in the head, but I can't help to love it. It's so goofy. I love the little leg thing here. Just very charming. And here is probably the AT-ST that a lot of y'all have. This is the Hoth AT-ST, the newest variation. It does a lot of what normal AT-STs do. You know, the head can turn, the legs have a little bit of posability, but realistically they're going to be looking like this. You can put a figure in it, you know, pretty basic stuff. Alright, now this is one of my favorites. This is the original Imperial landing craft. Now this just is packed full of features. We have the wings here, which can move up and down. I'm not going to move them all the way. It takes a little bit, admittedly. You have a place to put a minifigure in the front. You actually have bombs that can be dropped, though they aren't loaded right now. You have some Technic competition cannons. You have loads and loads of room inside to just put plenty of minifigs. And of course, the minifigure compartment can be dropped just for convenience sake here and for time. Not going to show all of that, but I did review this set a while back, so you can check that out if you want to see all the features. Overall, absolutely adore this thing. All right, let's get all the TIE fighters out of the way. These are my three just standard Imperial TIE fighters. Here's the one that most of y'all probably have. This is the smaller recent rendition of the TIE fighter. Great little model, a great way to get a smaller TIE fighter, and I'm glad that they're putting smaller variations of the vehicles out on the market. We have a much older set. This is the second rendition of the standard Imperial TIE fighter. Don't quote me on that. I believe this was from 2006. I know this looks a lot like the original one, but it just has just a few minor differences. So love the classic TIE fighters despite their obvious goofiness and lack of color accuracy. And here is the TIE fighter here. This was, I think, 2018. One of my favorite LEGO sets. The current definitive LEGO Imperial TIE fighter. It's kind of the big one, but it's also play scaled, so it's not like the massive UCS one. Very accurate, very cool. Y'all that have been around here for a while know how much I love this set. Alright, so here are my TIE bombers. Now this is the original TIE bomber here. Obviously, compared to this thing, it pales in comparison as far as accuracy goes, but surprisingly, it's a pretty good toy. You have a pretty sizable cockpit, yet it doesn't really have any detail in it. You can drop the bombs, and there's also a Technic competition cannon in this compartment here. This, on the other hand, a lot more sleek, very accurate. This is a very, very well done TIE TIE bomber. It can drop bombs. It's more like flick fire missiles. These are more like actual bombs. You have some stud shooters. We have a place to put a minifig. Overall, both very good sets. Alright, so let's end off the TIE fighters with the brand new TIE Interceptor. Lovely and badass looking TIE fighter. That's a great display piece. And also, we have a much older version of Vader's TIE fighter. Yeah, both really cool and interesting sets. I'm glad to finally have a little bit more variation. For a while, I kind of just had the 3 ordinary TIE fighters. Since I've had some more variation, which I'm very happy about. Both lovely sets. Now, I thought before we get to the really big stuff, I'd briefly talk about this small Death Star 2. Doesn't really go with most of the minifigure based stuff I've said in this video, but it's a neat little gift with purchase. I like it. It's cool. Alright, here are the big boys, the AT-AT walkers. We'll go one at a time here. Put that guy down on the ground real quick. Now, this is the 2014 variant, a pretty solid variant as far as visuals go. Well, as far as playability goes, it's a little bit lacking. The cockpit can only hold 2 minifigures. The actual interior is just open space, which is okay. I would have preferred some detail. You have a latch that can open on the bottom, which is pretty cool. Leg articulation, spring-loaded shooters. It's a pretty standard set. Definitely isn't as great on the playability side, but I still love it. It's an AT-AT walker, and plus this was one I wanted as a child, so that one's really cool to get. But as far as AT-AT walkers go, this is the king of the AT-AT walkers. Definitely the best version. The head here can actually hold 3 minifigures. The legs have the same amount of articulation as the last one here. The actual interior is actually an interior. It can hold about 5 minifigures. It has a speeder in there. It has a winch that can be lowered down from the bottom. This thing is just packed to the brim with play value and interior detail. Absolutely love this set. Alright, now it's time for the big boy. This is kind of the centerpiece of my Imperial builds. This is the 2014 Imperial Star Destroyer. This is the last version of the standard Imperial Star Destroyer we've gotten. We've gotten a few variations here and there, like the First Order one and Moff Gideon's light cruiser, which is kind of pales in comparison to this thing. A lot of great stuff with this. We have rotating cannons here. We got some spring-loaded shooters. Of course, interior space. This entire thing can come off. Now, I will probably do a full review at some point, so I won't take you through everything. This is just more of kind of a brief tour. But really, as far as this video goes, what you mainly need to get here is get just kind of the full look of the thing, because it is awesome. And one thing I have to point out, I just have to talk about, the carrying handle is at the center of the thing's gravity. It is so satisfying to hold because it always is almost straight. Leans forward just a little bit. But yeah, very well done. Well, I think we might as well just leave it here while I have this thing out. Thank y'all for watching this video and going through my Imperial collection with me. If you want to see the old version, the older video to see how I improved, I'll link that in the description. Love Imperial stuff. I hope to continue getting Imperial stuff and bringing you those reviews of some older Imperial sets like this one, which should be coming soon. So, of course, if you enjoyed today's video, consider leaving a like. Leaving a like, a small thing that helps me out a lot in the brutal algorithm. And, of course, subscribe for more videos. So with that, everyone, I'm going to sign off. See ya.